Yo, what up, everybody? This the Blind Wolf, and we back at it again. I'd like to thank everybody that subscribe, like, share, comment on these videos. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. All right, come on, Wolfpack, let's go on this journey. We about to go on a wild ride today. Okay, I just got done talking to my bump buddy and my homeboy about, man, I ain't been back and forth to the doctors the way I'm supposed to, man. This stuff getting crazy. Like, why they not taking me out for, my medical procedures and stuff that's I know that's supposed to be going on. So whole time I got a lot of stuff going on in my eyes, and this stuff really, playing a part in how I'm moving around the penitentiary. I don't like to walk in crowds no more. I'm walking in the back for the most part, me and my older homeboys. And, we kind of got our little system on how we move and whatever. So one day we get over to the cafeteria. Everything, seemed cool. You don't really see no tension or nothing like that in the air. And like I said, I like to walk in the back. So we come in, I come in, I'm one of the last people to come in. So I'm one of the last people to leave out when the COs, because all right now, when you get done eating, when you locked up, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have some COs come up in front of you and they're gonna raise their thumb up. All right, it's time for y'all to go. All right, so I'm on my way up out the cafeteria, and sometimes when you leave from out the cafeteria, if you're not going to the yard, they have you go out the doors towards Metro. And when you walk out the double doors, you're going to be looking directly into Metro. But then if you go to the left, it's going to be a set of stairs that's going to send you straight into Metro's yard. Man, I get to walking, and as I'm walking, I see another dude, in the midst of a little crowd. And like I said, me and my little old head crew, we kind of like stand to the back a little bit. So I see another dude, he kind of like creeping real low. And as he creeping real low, I mean, he come up with a mean lock. I'm talking about he cracked him with that lock. Bang! Drop dude. So when this happened, I'm like instantly like, oh man, I gotta hurry up and get on past this and get on down these steps, because I'm not trying to get caught up in this bull crap here. So make a long story short, the dude dropped. When he dropped, part of his eye was like hanging out. Whatever happened, his eye socket got bust. So his eye was kind of like hanging out of his head. And as I'm walking past and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that's crazy. But the whole time you see the little gang dudes, they mixed up with each other. And I don't know what happened with the weapon, but they definitely ran down on the dude that hit the dude with the lock. And when they ran down on him, they ain't find nothing on him. They still locked him up, but they ain't find nothing on him. I don't know how he made out off that, but Shorty made out off that. But make a long story that's crazy short, this dude is laid out at the top of the steps, knocked out cold. His eye is hanging out the side of his head. I never seen him again, never knew what happened to him after that, never knew how that situation kind of like panned out, whether or not he lost his eye, whatever. All I know is I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm already going through the stuff that I'm going through with my eyes, and I got people in front of me actually getting hit with stuff and are losing their eyes. Like, that's crazy. Like, this had me on paranoia 35,000. I'm talking about this is crazy. To walk past and see somebody stretched out with their eye hanging partially out of their head and no blood. Like, I didn't see any blood. It's just his eye was just hanging there. And he was out. He was out cold. I mean, he was out cold, stretched out, laid out on his stomach. I go down the steps and I'm trying to get out the yard. And as I'm going through Metro Yard, you got all kinds of COs coming towards the situation, running towards all of the gang dudes. I'm trying to slide to the side, but at the end of the day, they line all of us up out there. They searching everybody. They trying to find a weapon. And I get stretched out on the yard just like everybody else, caught up in a search that they ain't find nothing on me. They know, certain people, is in the whatever. You know what I mean? So me and my crew, we ain't had nothing to do with that dude. Like, I ain't even really talked to the dude that got hit like that. But he definitely got his brain smacked out. He definitely got his brain smacked out. And the whole time, the dude that actually did it, he come back on the compound. After he spent this little time over on lockup, he was back over there on B block with the rest of us, going right back to the same classes that I was going to. This was my little man. Me and Shorty was cool as I don't know what. We used to go to the A building classes together on a regular basis, going to the Nation of Islam manhood training classes. Yeah. So you just never know what's going to happen inside of them prison walls. You never know what's going to happen. Somebody could get their brains knocked out right next to you. You don't know what's going on. Blood could get splattered all on you, and that can get you caught up in the investigation right there. Boom. Now you got to fight this administration charge, and you ain't have nothing to do with it. You ain't had nothing to do with it. Fortunately, I didn't get caught up in no investigations and all of that type of stuff. But for sure, main man lost his eye that day. His eye was sitting out the side of his head. These are the things that can happen inside of these prison walls when you putting yourself in harm's way. You getting involved in, lifestyle changes that are unpredictable. You already in an unpredictable environment. Why enhance that? Why join and be a part of something that at the end of the day, when you do something wrong, they're going to sanction you. And that sanction might not be pretty. Depending on what they feel like you charged with inside of these gangs, yeah, you're going to pay an ultimate penalty. An ultimate penalty. And some of these dudes never make it back right. This is one of the things I keep on trying to get across to y'all. Your mental may not be right when you come home after these things. You become paranoid. You can't walk around in crowds. You don't want to be around a whole bunch of people because you don't know what's on the next person's mind. But you know what's on your mind. You know what you done seen. You know what you done been around. This is what you're dealing with inside of these penitentiary walls. You go inside of these penitentiary walls and you haven't the slightest idea what your next day is going to be like. It's all hell. It's the day you go in and the day you go out. In between, you deal with hell. In between, you deal with hell. You take a few naps in between. Now, mind you, like I was telling y'all, I'm going through the fact that I have advanced glaucoma. I'm losing my eyesight naturally. Somebody get their eye knocked out in front of me. Man, I got to get up out of these penitentiary walls. That's all I'm thinking to myself. Like, I got to get away from this. I've already been told by doctors that I really can't take no traumas to the head. Like, I really don't need to be getting hit in my head. So I need to be as away from problems as I possibly can be. But at this point in time, my mind all over the place, and I still got that go up in me, and I'm angry about the fact that I'm losing my eyesight. So I still will go if necessary. But look at the unbelievable that's happening in front of me. Out of the blue. Out of the blue. So I got to be ready at all times. You got to be ready at all times when you step inside of them penitentiary walls. You don't have a second chance. Once you in there, you in there until you out. And then some of us come out and then do some foolishness and go right back in. And I was a part of that crowd. I was a part of that crowd. That's why I'm preaching these lessons, things that I've gone through. Because I don't want you to go through. I don't want you to have to be sitting around thinking to yourself like, man, I just seen somebody eye get knocked out their head. Like, this is something that replays in your brain. You can't forget these things. You can't forget this stuff. It's locked into your DNA, so it makes you become more of an animal, and that's not what you are. You're a human being with feelings. You're supposed to feel for the next individual. 9 times out of 10, when you were younger, you had that feeling of pain when you seen somebody that you loved kind of like went through something. They got hurt real bad. You felt it a little bit. At least I know I did. But as we grow older, we get more colder and colder towards society and towards our brother, man. And how is it that we're so comfortable with dismembering each other like this? And then we can still say that we got brotherly love. Come on now, people. We got to really have brotherly love. We got to show determination and dedication to our families, our lives, that we're going to be better than the generation before. All of this violence, all of this, going back and forth inside of the penitentiary walls and trying to prove yourself, man, you're destroying yourself. And you might not make it home. Everybody don't make out off those types of charges. Sometimes you get decades behind that type of stuff. You get decades for it. It's dudes in the penitentiary that dedicate their lives to getting their life back. And we out here throwing our life away. Some of the greatest minds are dudes that have life sentences, and they're in the law library. They coming up with programs, and they're figuring a way to get back home because they fighting for their life. Why are we in a rush to throw our life away? Let's stop this madness. Let's get back on the path that our ancestors wanted us to be on. You think the Buffalo Soldiers and all of those people went out there and fought just to be in the army? No, they didn't just fight just to be in the army. They fight to show that we are of a better class. We deserve better. So we got to show and prove in ourselves that we deserve better. Come on, we are strong people. And it's just not for, black people. This is for everybody. You have different, ancestors from all races of people who have done extremely great things. Make your ancestors proud. Let's make this a better society for the kids that's coming up so that they not coming up dumbfounded to the things that we've gone through because we think we so tough. We think we so tough. We want to come home and talk about what we did in the penitentiary and how we survived. And yeah, I'm ready to be on my G stuff now that I'm back out here. Man, come on, get away from that foolishness, man. I know when I was in there, I was making 85 cents a day. 85 cents a day, making like 22 something a month. And that's working a penitentiary job that I ain't even really want to do. I was cool with staying in my cell because that wasn't going to really do anything but buy me some deodorant, a couple bars of soap. That's gone. That's gone. Maybe some peanut butter. That's gone. Talking about $22. And I'm going to be clean. But I had to do what I had to do while I was in there. And we don't want to be doing what we have to do. We want to do what we want to do. You don't want to be in a place where you can get your eye knocked out of your head. You don't want to be somewhere where people stepping over you after something like this happens, and then the COs and stuff find out during the aftermath. This is your life when you go inside of these penitentiary walls. No one is going to care. No one is going to care. The only thing that matters is you making yourself matter for yourself. And this is something that we got to have deeply embedded in ourselves. Remember what I keep on telling y'all about them 5 P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance. When you properly planning for your life, you going to stay away from situations that could get your eye knocked out of your head. You're going to be focused on ideas that's going to better your life. You're going to be focused on ideas that's going to better your family. What I tell y'all on a regular basis, what's the most gangster thing in the world to me? Being there for your family, trying to make a change for you in your household. Not just for your household, but for you too. It starts with you. If you want to work out, you got to get down and work out. You got to do them push-ups. You got to do them crunches. You got to push them weights. You got to hit that pull-up bar. It's inside of us to bring the greatness out. It's just when we going to bring this greatness out. Why we got to keep on bringing the gladiator greatness out in all of us. Yeah, a lot of us have that go up in us. But you're only supposed to be using that when your family or your life is in jeopardy. Not to be setting up somebody to make a reputation for yourself. And that's what happens inside of these prison walls. And we have to stay away from that lifestyle. We can't have happy lives when we live in constant fear of what can happen because you're in a place where the unpredictable happens on a regular basis. This is the lifestyle that you live in inside of these penitentiary walls, and we have to make sure that our kids don't deal with this. I don't want my grandchildren going inside of the penitentiary walls and saying that they had to fight 4-5 people up off of them with a knife. I don't want my kids to go through that. And you shouldn't want it for yours. You shouldn't want to find out that your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your son got his eye smacked out of his head. We got to change the train of thought, educate our people to the things that's going to better our lives. Educate our people to the things that's going to better our lives so that we can have better lives. It's direly important out here. We losing our kids fast, and they don't care. They don't care. Nowadays, it's cameras out here. When I was coming up, it wasn't no cameras like that, and we still was getting caught. But y'all doing this stuff on camera. Y'all not going to get away. You're not going to get away. Try to find some way to be happy in life. Try to find some way to make your mother, your whoever it is that you look up to, whoever it is that's in your family, that's that one that you don't mind going out there doing anything for. Let's make it happen for them. Show big love to that part of your life. Whatever it is that you say that you truly love, pour your best energy into that so that we can change the idea of going inside of these penitentiary walls for our next generations coming up. This big love coming from the Blind Wolf. And remember what I tell y'all and my man Marcus Aurelius say. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Stay from out them penitentiary walls. Stay away from foolishness. Keep your mind on something that's going to make you feel happy within inside of you. Focus on that. Make that a part of your daily life. Grow, become better, do better, so we can be a better next generation than the generations before. Big love, Blind Wolf. Woof!